Hi, I'm Dee Wallace, and you're watching Kendall Talks.
What's up, guys? It's your host, Kendall Tucker, and today's beautiful guest has been labeled the Queen of Scream. She's been involved in over 200 films, with the majority of those films being in the horror category, from The Howling to Cujo, The Hills Have Eyes, and one of my personal favorites, E.T., and much, much more. Today, we have the legendary Dee Wallace with us. Thanks for joining me today.
So happy to be here, baby.
Awesome. How have you been doing?
I've been doing great. I've been being very creative during all this COVID stuff.
Yeah.
I think we always have a choice, For my horror fans out there are 5 of us iconic horror actors that are getting together to do a short film just for our fans.
Oh, sweet.
To really appreciate while all this is going on. So we're shooting that in the next couple of weeks, and it's called Stay Home. So look for it.
Awesome. I was going to ask, I know things are slowly getting back to normal, but I was going to ask how you were spending your quarantine time. So always working even when you can't work, huh?
Well, I look at it as creating.
Mm.
And as long as I'm creating, I'm happy.
I hear you.
So I get up every morning and go, okay, these are the parameters. What can I create today? And as you and I were talking about before the show, I have a whole healing practice. I'm a clairaudient channel, so I do 3 or 4 private sessions every day.
Cool.
With
Very
people.
Cool.
So that keeps me busy and talking to lovely, handsome gentlemen like you.
I appreciate it. Real quick, just to plug that in, your healing. Where can people check that out? A website or something?
My website is iamdwallace.com.
Okay, great. So that way, if people want to check it out, they can go check it out.
Yeah, they should. There's a lot of free stuff to listen to. It's really life-changing. So
very cool. I'm definitely going to check it out myself then.
Good.
So I want to know, let's jump into it. What was your very first movie you acted in? And was it a horror film, or was it, what kind of movie was it?
My very, very first was The Stepford Wives.
Oh, yeah?
I had, I think, one line left in there as Nettie the maid. She was German, and I was serving tea or something, and somebody asked me something, and I go, yeah. That was it. But my first major role in a movie was in a religious film.
Oh, cool.
Called All the King's Horses. Do you remember Grant Goodeve from 8 is Enough?
It sounds familiar. I'm not good with names. I'm better with faces.
He played my alcoholic husband, and I was a battered wife.
Oh, man. So that was your first major role.
Yeah, and then I went right into The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize.
The Hills Have Eyes.
I didn't realize that The Hills Have Eyes was like towards the beginning of your career.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't put those two together. I knew it was it was shot a while ago, but I didn't realize it was like your third project.
Yeah, pretty much.
Very cool. Now, what did you do before acting?
Actually, I was a school teacher.
Oh, really? What grade?
I taught 9th and 10th English and theater.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, you're known for, horror films. What pushed you in that direction? Why do you prefer the scary movies?
I didn't go looking for them, but I'm just lucky. I'm one of those actors that have a really full emotional range and can call up my emotions pretty easily, which is what I like to do. And the horror genre just gives you a lot of opportunity to do that.
Plus, you have a very powerful scream.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Now,
we can take that in so many directions, but we won't.
Yeah, we'll let the listeners take it how they want to take it. Now, which film has been your favorite to date so far?
Cujo.
Cujo?
Yep, not to do, but I'm just really proud of it. I think I did as much as I could do, as truthfully as I could do it. And for me, that's what I want to do in every part. But in a part like that, it's really challenging.
Yeah, I heard that they it was multiple dogs playing the role.
13.
Oh wow, 13 trained dogs, huh?
All trained to go after different toys.
Oh, okay.
We actually had a couple of Labradors that could fit in a dog suit in case we needed different tricks. We had a stuntman in a dog suit.
Wow.
That, the big attack scene, it's he and I and the stunt woman and the real dog all intercut. Just brilliant editing. Brilliant.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't realize that. That's genius. So what just curious, what movie have you been a part of that you think was the scariest movie?
What do I think was the scariest movie? Probably The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, that movie was shot before I was even born, but I have friends.
Oh, thank you for that.
No, I'm very, very young. That's the reason why.
Yeah. And I'm very, very old. That's the reason why, too.
No, but what I was saying is there's people my age and myself that have still seen that movie and it creeps them out. I mean, it wasn't one of those like super old like corny type movies. It was a scary movie.
Yeah, who knew that it would still be a cult classic this time later.
What was that film like doing? Where'd you guys shoot that movie at?
We shot it in the Mojave Desert, and it was a really tough shoot. It was really far away. All of us stayed in one trailer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I spent a lot of my time in my car. The toilet broke, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. Let's put on a show time. But we did it. We had a lot of great talent, and just everybody pulled together, and we, helped each other get through and get it done.
So that movie, was it the reasoning for the one trailer and everything? Was it a pretty small budget for that movie?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Was it?
Yeah, and everybody made scale,
Mm. Well, it ended up being such a legendary movie. I mean,
I know. Who would think it would still be a cult classic? I mean, it's crazy.
That's funny. Now, I grew up watching the E.T. movie, and what was it like working with Spielberg?
Well, Steven's a genius. We know that, right? And he's brilliant with the kids, just brilliant. He knows exactly what he wants. And yet he creates an environment where you're free to bring in your own ideas, go in different directions if that happens during the scene. So it really, all good directors are a combination of that. They know exactly what they want. They know how to get it, communicate it, and yet they're open to ideas from their DPs, from their actors, certainly from their editors. So, working with the kids was a joy. Mm-hmm. They were all little professionals. Robert McNaughton was amazing in it and amazing to work with too.
Yeah, and Drew Barrymore was the little girl in the movie. I mean, did you guys know she was going to grow up to be such a big star? I mean, she's an amazing actor.
Yeah, I'm a clairaudient channel, but even I didn't see that.
Yeah, she's very talented, and she did a great job as a little girl, and she does even better as a woman. Now, E.T. was E.T. ran mechanically, or was that someone in a suit?
Both.
Oh yeah.
We had ETs that were run with hydraulics. We had ET suits that the little people would get into. One ET suit, there was a little boy with no legs, Matthew,
Oh, wow.
and we put him in upside down and he walked on his hands. And that's how we got ET's really distinct walk.
Oh wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So he just did a handstand. He could just.
Well, he walked, he walked on his hands like a gymnast.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's really neat. I didn't realize that at all.
I know.
Cool.
That's why getting the inside scoop is fun.
Yeah, definitely. Now, as a kid, E.T. was one of my favorite rides at Universal Studios in Orlando. Because I'm from Florida. I'm about an hour from Orlando. Did you ever get the chance to ride that?
Oh, sure. I actually opened the ride.
Oh, did you? You were there
Yeah,
opening?
they took a bunch of us down there and we opened the ride. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I think they still. I don't know if they got rid of it or not. If it's still there. Or
No,
not.
I think it's still in Florida. It's not at Universal City here.
Okay. Yeah, that was. I always enjoyed that ride as a kid. Now, just for fun, in your opinion, is there such thing as aliens?
Oh, absolutely.
You do believe so?
Oh, yeah. I don't think there's any question that there's other life out there. What I know about aliens is that they're here to really guide and direct us, but they can't interfere because it has to be our conscious choice about how we create ourselves.
That's interesting.
Stephen really got it close to right, I think, when he portrayed E.T. as kind and gentle and with an open heart.
Yeah. So you think that you think they're in our galaxy? You're not necessarily talking about other galaxies, other.
I think they're both.
Yeah.
Look, from the perspective of science, everything is energy. And there aren't any boundaries to energy. There aren't any walls. There aren't any, all the dimensions and all the time-space continuums and all the energy in between is just all playing together. So to think that they haven't come in and out of our system, I think is naive.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting point. I was just curious. I had to get your opinion on that. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think they're good guys.
Yeah.
Hollywood has made them into the bad guy.
Yeah, it's always a war. Except for E.T.
Yeah.
Now, in the movie, E.T., you play as a mom. And it seems like you did such a great job that you were constantly getting casted as a mom role after that movie. Was it that movie that kind of put you in that position to be casted as a mom?
Yeah, I think so. Because before that, I played astronauts and killers and hookers, a lot of hookers. I did a lot of hookers. Hookers with a heart of gold. But E.T. was so iconic, and I kind of became everybody's mom. I became the surrogate mom that everybody wanted. you know, why not? I had an alien living in my house and I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
So who doesn't want a mom that's like out there that far and doesn't even know what's going on in her own house? Um, but yeah, I really had to work very hard to get out of that stereotype. We do that in the United States. They don't do that in Europe. You
Oh
can
yeah.
play the lead and be a queen, and then you can go to another project and, you know, play a poor woman who's a beggar with just one scene. And they don't look down upon that at all.
Mm.
But here, not so much. So I fought very hard, and I felt very lucky that Peter Jackson took me for The Frighteners,
Oh yeah.
because that really did a lot to open up the world of more possibilities for me.
I hear you. Now, you talk about playing a role as a mom on screen and off screen to all these kids that were in the movies. Were you a mom at the time? I know you have a daughter.
I do have a daughter, but I didn't have my daughter till after Cujo.
Oh, okay.
So, and you know, I used to have a lot of people interview me going, how did you play this mom? You weren't a mom. I said, no, but I had a mom.
Yeah.
And I had a mom that was very much like a lot of the moms I played, as far as her heart and her courage.
Mm.
You know, I had a mom that would do and did do anything and everything to keep our family together, to protect us, to create more opportunities for us. We lived in a very, very poor household. And my dad was an alcoholic, so he didn't work a lot of his life. And so my mom held down everything by being a secretary, but she was also a beautiful actress in Kansas City in community theater. And that's when I first got the bug.
Oh, very cool. So your mom passed that down to you.
You bet.
Do you have siblings?
I do. I have an older brother, and I had a younger brother. Unfortunately, he followed in my father's footsteps last year and committed suicide also.
Mm. I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, his journey, you know.
I hear you. Now, I noticed online you attend a lot of Comic Cons and like horror festivals and those type of things. What's those experiences like, being able to interact with your fans all around the world?
I love doing the cons. I love hearing the stories. I love getting all the hugs. Um, yeah, I have a real appreciation for my fans. And the horror fans, I've got to say, are the best fans in the world.
Hmm.
They may look a little funky sometimes with all their tats and their piercings, but man, they just have a heart of gold.
They show up, man.
Yeah,
They, I bet you
very
hear
loyal.
I bet you hear some pretty bizarre stories from some fans about what the movie's meant to them and
You know
everything.
what I hear most?
What's that?
I was conceived in the back seat when my mom and dad went to the drive-on to watch whatever film it was.
For real? You've heard that more than once?
Yeah, oh yes.
That
Oh
is
yes.
too
I
funny.
hear it 2 or 3 times every convention.
That's funny. So what's next for Mrs. Wallace? Can we expect to see you in anything in the near future?
Oh yeah. I have 3 films that I finished before all this COVID stuff hit.
Nice.
13 Fanboy, which already has a big play on the internet. Await the Dawn, which is a very interesting film of, it's kind of a sci-fi horror.
Oh,
It's a
cool.
really neat combination. And then an insect-driven movie called The Bewailing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which is out there. Um, and, then Scout Taylor Compton, Danielle Harris, Barbara Crampton, Kane Hodder, and myself are doing this short film for our fans.
Very cool. Now, are all those films set to be released in 2020, or it will be some 2021?
Honey, we're waiting for the rest of the world to show up like everybody else.
I hear you.
You can't release a film when there are no theaters open.
Mm-hmm.
And even if the theaters are open, everybody's too afraid to go.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting to see how everything's playing out. We just have gotten the information that the studios got the go-ahead from Governor Newsom to open up tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
But it's going to take months for production to get up, I think.
Yeah.
Too many safety things have to be in place. And
yeah, it's all up in the air now.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I thought it froze.
You did freeze for a second, but you came back.
Okay. Now I want to know, how many more screams do you have in you? Do you plan on acting till you get called home, or is there a point where you're like, okay, I'm retiring?
I want to be Irene Ryan. She went out and did the matinee performance of Pippin, went back to take a nap, and never woke up.
So you want to do it all the way to the last second?
I don't get these people that wait to die.
Yeah.
I want to live and then just go to sleep sometime.
That's the best way right there.
Yeah, like I said, I got to keep creating, otherwise I'm not happy. I do have to say that the whole COVID thing was it's brought about a good balance in my life where I'm not so much on the hamster wheel. But yeah, no, I just want to keep going, keep creating.
That's awesome. Now, what's some advice you could give to someone wanting to get into acting? Just some quick advice.
Be yourself. Everybody, I taught for 18 years out here. And it's the biggest lesson I think I taught people is actors think they want you to walk in and be somebody other than who you are. But they want you to come in and be you and bring them through you, whatever the character is. And the second thing I'd say is have fun. If you stop having fun, if it's like, oh God, I've got another audition and I never get it, and then you might as well get out because you're going to push it away.
That's good advice. Now, how can people follow you and stay up to date on what you got going on? Is the same website, imdwallace.com?
Yeah, it really is most of my healing work, but I'm all over, Instagram, and I always post when I'm going to a con or if one of my projects is coming out.
Okay, very cool. So those watching, make sure you go follow her. And Mrs. Wallace, I appreciate you sitting down with me. It was an absolute honor, and hopefully we can do it again, but next time in person.
Hey, we'll hold that intention. Sounds good to me, baby.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, darling. Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye, everybody.